test.
Okay.
Recording in progress.
And now you'll be co-host.
Yeah, I better be careful.
Okay. That.
Thank you, KTC Soccer, once again having me back, and this once again opportunity for me to purify my own negative karma and get accumulation of merit. As you can see, I grow more longer here, so I want to show you the progress of age. So I used to shave everything part of that. I so used to shaving, and it's like almost like bald, no hair. And second was like I kind of tried to, I guess um, hide my gray hair, and that's uh, kind of denying our human nature. And so now I scroll a little bit and then shave. Anyways, so I do know this is in a way like the last month of 2025. It's kind of very interesting, looking back. We all know how we did in terms of whether we really maintained our daily practice. Did we do better than 2024 or worse? And this is almost like testimony for our practice, and definitely I could say a lot of stuff. I'd be meeting you guys, KTC Soka in 2026. I haven't forgot the topic about the visualization, but I still have this kind of burning fire in me that have to take this as something very serious. That did we do in the 2025? And because I will be leading the another kind of talk or a lot of puja, like New Year's Eve, but I just still want to say a few words today. Once again, repeating about how we did in 2025, and if we worked hard, that means we have almost like 300, total is like 60 something days to work on our practice. All 2000, that may, I mean, 300, 60 something days to totally, cook ourselves in, with the emotion and stress. Of course, it's life. Especially we all have same kind of a reputation that is like I'm very busy, and this became excuse me, center of our talk and center of our life. And what do we expect? Because even in the practice of Chenrezig says that one of our human life's kind of suffering is busyness. Busyness. And personally, being someone also have like similar lifestyle like you all, and I don't think I did better job than 2025. I may did better job in terms of teaching, traveling, definitely, which makes me, very happy. And try my best to kind of uh, to take it seriously, about people's request because they kind of value you and they ask, questions or another word like just trying to be available. And I feel that part, definitely I feel a lot better. So there are a lot to definitely, rejoice. KTG is doing good, or KTC is doing what, good. And but there's also, of course, a lot to improve. And that's something we have to really look into it because it is very obvious that we have plans and we have all these expectations, everything, and sometimes life is very uh, unexpected. Something turns out totally different than our expectations, and very kind of panicking and unpredictable, and that's why I think we can looking back and so look forward to 2026 and you know uh, just not have regret, you know. But also like beside Chinese, I was thinking about to add 35 Buddha prayer because personally I would like to chant that because you know as I mentioned, this is the last month of 2025, and we can sincerely, confess, on whatever whatever mistakes we made in 2025, and in front of 35 Buddhas. Excuse me. And for 2026, and during my Hindu retreat, I kind of emphasize a lot on, uh, try to maintain daily practice. When we practice, not to be frustrated, because sometimes, like, when we practice and we carry all those um, mental garbages to the practice, and then we just instead of like really focusing on bodhicitta or visualization, dedication, we seem like a little bit of quite a frustrated, in terms of if you're doing mundo practice or whatever practice you do. For example, if you are doing meditation and we may sit there for like 15 minutes, and then you might be frustrated why I still not calm. I supposed to come, like I already, sit here like 15 minutes, and uh, so that kind of situation, and especially like strengthen mental stability or work with our mental issues or like stress or emotions, and I also, mention about this, like someone said this. Someone said it actually was very beautiful, and she's a practitioner. Said that she has some, physical illness, and that's something she has to go through. And so since I'm really sick, since I'm, going through this pain, and it's a little bit selfish to think that, I'm suffering. Why don't I just, since I'm just, pain anyways, why don't I just think about other sentient beings, sometimes it takes to sink teachings into your mind. But sometimes like people like, when they say that, why don't I think about, sentient beings, because there are so many sentient beings, suffering, whether it's an animal or, people we always could see, like the daily news, etc. And then she said this. So when and there was no expectation for her. Like, okay, if I think about all, other sentient beings, maybe my suffering would be reduced. She didn't think about that, she said. But because that's how we teach, and that's what we, kind of train our mind about, instead of like only focusing on yourself, but also think about other sentient beings. If I'm suffering, and you may be able to take suffering of other beings, and also like when you are suffering physically or mentally or whatever, stress you're going through. Oh, I'm basically, purifying my negative karma and kind of a little bit have a rejoice. And then she said that through that kind of, concept, just the moment she thought about others, naturally kind of reduced her own suffering, not thinking, that wasn't the plan, that wasn't the soul of wish, but because, she kind of, caught herself like, oh, we are a little bit not so smart, we are stupid, why we are suffering anyways, why don't I just think about some other sentient beings? So that's something we can, carry into to 2026. And I also shared, I think last time, and some other teachings that, I've kind of been with two Lama practitioners, at deathbed, and it's, kind of like you're sleeping next to this person who is, you're sleeping or staying there and just, drink or eat, like no problem, sleep no problem, breathing no problem. Then someone else is like, barely, so hard to exhale and inhale, breath. And you kind of, wow, we are really very fortunate that we are still alive. We should practice hard. And then the second is this is, ongoing issues for us and for all uh, others as well, like mental stress. This is we are more stressed more than before, and it doesn't get easier. It will be it will get worse and worse. Unless we, as a practitioner, try to uh, work with it. And I mean, this is so beautiful because there's so many methods. It's almost like we are seriously sick, and then there's so many opportunities to cure. There operations or like medicine or like all kind of, elements, but we are consciously denying that, we consciously, which is, uh, very, very uh, uh, tragic, Likewise, Buddha's teaching is just, I think, very, very rich. There are so many, whether it's a visualization, whether it's a bodhicitta, think about other sentient beings, whether it's just directly working with your mind, whatever method you use, generation stage, completion stage, mantra recitation, physically doing prostration, or mentally visualization or meditation, everything kind of, uh, culminates with our stress. The only problem, though, we have is that we just kind of uh, become a little bit hopeless, you know. Oh, I'm stressed, and you try to find our normal habitual patterns to overcome our habitual patterns. That doesn't work, you know. Uh, and uh, and also we have less confidence in working with meditation or visualization. And so those can be, analyzed. Maybe we can really, work hard, or let's say, really pray to Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Prayer is extremely important. Pray to three jewels, pray to Guru, reading Dhamma books, and something we can really, take it very seriously. And it is hard, there's so many elements to disturb us, and there are so many situations occur, and there are so many things happens in our life and in our family, and all this. Well, unfortunately, this is a way of life. This is the way of life. As long as we are in samsara, I guarantee that, well, I don't have to guarantee anything. It is very obvious, right? It's just so obvious, everything what's going on. And this is samsara. We talk about, Buddha talk about the samsara is the embodiment of suffering and unpredictable. But even Buddha didn't teach anything. This is very obvious. We are the one who facing, people are facing, animals are facing this very obvious thing. So we shouldn't so care about the things change. We shouldn't care too much about your sufferings. This is just where it is, it is. And but this is a long journey. Those of us a Buddhist practitioner, when I talk about long journey, we are, continue traveling on the path up till enlightenment. So it's kind of a long journey, but it's so worth to start, within this very life. And while we have this greatest opportunity to connect to Buddha Dhamma and connect teachings, and this is so special. And so we have to, if we don't kind of, if we just so caught up into this other things, of course we have to take care of our life. We have to take, go to work, we have to cook, all of this, but also the liberation path is so important. It is something like, precious jewel that is so, reachable, and something, and then we just, if we lose it, what do we expect? Next life we're gonna be better because of what? And I don't have any proof. Why we think we next life will be better if we don't work in this life? So that's why I think, sometimes we are very, very, even with practitioners, so caught up, kind of, pursue something so special, like, the great, the Mahamudra and then the Dzogchen practice, but, we just kind of, kind of, denied, or, habitually, or with the egoistic mind, the basic practice, confession practice, visualization practice, Chenrezig practice, compassion practice. These are the really, the root of everything. And so going into 2026, maybe don't make any promises and commitments, but have this broad understanding about, we are within reach with the, jewel of nature of mind or jewel of visualization, jewel like precious, yeah, practice. It's just not within reach. We are already reached. We are already. It's all handy, right? And yeah, time doesn't wait for us. We have to utilize our time, and so then there will be progress. Progress meaning that we just have a conscious effort, conscious mindfulness that you know not unnecessarily fall into such stress. And anxieties, of course, we all have anxiety, as I mentioned that, as long as we are not meditating, as long as we don't know how to liberate our thoughts, what do we expect? Stress is natural. It's just the way it is. Maybe not so surprised. And yeah, I think sometimes we feel like we are the only one who kind of drown into the ocean of the, stress. Sometimes we just see ourselves, or I'm just so tired, I'm just so stressed. This is the problem we have. And it is so obvious what Buddha said, like Shandindeva said in his famous text, Bodhicharya, that look at sentient beings who are constantly thinking about oneself and still endlessly suffering. And then look at the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, who think about other sentient beings and enlightened. So it's just that's the differences. And yeah, so that's why when you have stress or physical suffering or mental stress, just think about, someone else who are suffering. And as I mentioned, I've been to a few people who are passing, and I could feel that's, they're suffering. And, animals, a dog, I went there. So, of course, when I was in Tibet, and my best friend, uh, who kind of literally grew up in a monastery, and he got lung cancer, and he also passed away. And I was with his body for 3 days. And then also like one of my cousin passed away. I kind of get to give his body to the uh, birds, etc. Anyways, my point here is that you know uh, life is just very unpredictable, and while we are able to talk, while we are able to meditate, while we are able to fasted, while we are able to chant, we should, take advantage. Uh, yeah. So go into 2026 with confidence and with such will, and that would do it. Uh, so, so meanwhile, as I mentioned, I would like to start with the 35 Buddha prayer, and let's see. Yes, I will go into enter full screen. uh, and so just visualize the 35 Buddha in the sky, and we start with refuge prayer and for immeasurables, and thinking that we confess whatever we have done wrong. Let's say all the negative emotions we have accumulated and did not confess as a practitioner, whatever. And we didn't pursue the practice, and we confess to Buddha, Buddha, all the 35 Buddhas, to all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. With all sentient beings, they are also confessing their own wrongdoings and everything. And then we rejoice. Uh, First, pay homage to all the Buddhas, the 35 Buddhas, then confession, and then we dedicate merit for all sentient beings. So that's why this called three skandhas of the sutras. And yeah, so that's something we pursue for 2026. Also, every time we start practice, we have a little meditation, thinking that we are doing this for the benefit of all sentient beings to achieve enlightenment. With that bodhicitta, start with refuge prayers. O sanje judo soje chuno la chanchu parade dane jase che dagi jinso jibe sonam dola benzere sanje drobra isho sanje judo soje chuno la chanchu parade dane jase dagi jinso jibe sonam je dola benze sanje drobra isho sanje judo soje chuno chanju barada tane jase je dagi jinso jibe sonam dola benza zanje drabara isho simje damje dewa dan deve jadan dembra jirj dungola dan dungan je jadan drabara jirj dunga mepe dewa tamba dan mendra wa jirj yeren chadon yedan drawa tanyam jembala nebra jara je semjen damje dewa da deve jed dembra jirje dongon da dongon je jed tawara je donga mebe dewa tamba imenda wa jirje nyeren chadon Yedon drawe danyam jemba la nebra jura je semjen danje dewa dan deve jedan dembra dungola dan dungoy je jedan drawara je je nanga mepe dewa damba Mindra wa jere je nyeren chadan yedan dra danyam jemba la nebra jura je Simje damje dabra lama la jazu jiwo sanje la jazu jiwo chula jazu jiwo genda la jazu jiwo chamden de tejine jeba dra chamba yandab zobo sanje cha ja tuba la janza la Doje nyembo raden jamba la chancha la renchen rentro la chancha la wange jabo la chancha pawo de la chancha la paje la chancha la renchen me la chancha renchen dave la chancha la tangwan denye la chancha la renchen dawa la chancha Chima meba la chanza la pajen la chanza la chamba la chanza Tambe jana chanja la chula la chanja chila la la chanja la pazan la chanja la tsenden pa la chanja la zije taye la chanja Yeba la chanja la nyange mebe ba la chanja Sumin jebu la chanja la meto pa la chanja Ejin jeba tsambe weze namba roba Kimbara jimba la chanza la Ejin jeba Pime weze namba roba Kimbara jimba la chanza la Noroba la chanza Timbe bala chanza la Timbala shenda yondra la chanza la Ombo tuge janchin je jabo la chanza Shenda nambra nembe bala chanza la yele shenda nambra jawa la chanza nambra nembe jeba bala chanza la kene mawa kyeba ba chanza la renjen bema nambra nemba la chanza la tejine jeba rajamba Yondaba doba sonje rambonje pema la rade yoba rawange jabo la tanza Teta la soba chujin jeten ja kandang je na tejin sheba da jamba Yandabara dobe sonje jamden de kanchi ni je yode chojin jeba sonje jamden de teda tamje dala gongsu su dagi jewan de don jewa toma don tama manche ban kurowa nan kurowa jene tamje de debe le jeba Judo zawa dum jiba la jise yirong wawam chodin je koram gendin je koram choje gendin je koro choba don choda zawa dum choba la jise yirong wawam tsamman jiba ngawe le jiba Judo zawa dum jiba la Jise yirong wawa mege wa chewa leche lang yong tabra lamba la juba don juda zawa juba la jise yirong wawa leche juba kange jene dasin jen nyawara che wawa tenju chene su che wawa yeda che yuda che wawa Yeldanga de jewa wa la loro jewa la zerimbo namze jewa ombo maton wa jewa wa tawa lobra zeba jewa onjen jongwa la nipa meje ba jereba leche jeba kan la ba te da tamje sanje jamden de ichi su churba jindu churba Onde jurba tsemra jurba chembe zeba teda ke chengra tolo chas minjabo mebe do senche chon chuje dambra jilas sanje jamden de teda damje dala gonso so dage chewa deto Chewa toma dong tama man cheba ne kurowa na kowa chewa yin tadu yinba tan tundru jine se cheba la se kamje zam zalwe gewe zawa kan la ba dagi se chum zambe gewe zawa kan la ba dagi zambra cheba Nebe gewe zawa gan la ba na dage sinjen yonsa membra jebe gewe zawa gan la ba da dage chonchu chu Tenjibe gewe zawa gangla ba nang dage lana mebe yeje je gewe za gangla ba de da damje je de dujen dam de dam lana manje ba dang gongna manje ba dang kume yang kuma lame yang lama yang se ngore lana me ba yang da para jo ba jang ju yang se ngore je wo je dran de be san je jam de de nam je yang se ngo ba Chitra majan be sanje chamden de namje yonsa ngoran jawa da chitra tata jawa sanje chamde namje yonsa ngoran zeba tejen de dage cha yonsa ngova jewa deba tamche na sosoro shaso sona tamche la jisa yero Sanje damje la guje soan de so da ge la na me ba ye je je cho tamba to bra je me jo ja gong da 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 ra jo ba da gong da de ba ta don de je gong man yen de ngo ba da ye jan zo da ga ma ta mo ja wa je 要是你我来接我，来接了那 number 三，我给 number 一的刚阳一接那三个，那个接不叔叔的，托马明年大的把那个就当咱们啊3年嘛忘记了。Deva damje jabaraje deja shedan temme wange na ludong at deje yeje deva dage jeba jenje ba deva damje dage sodaraja samme abo dage deva ange meje wange jeba da teya tongwa jaba dede Teta male yongze changwan je, tado senje genje debe. Yibra je gong dojen shabra je, lenje nayang jibra maje. Leje deba wan tende seje jo, tansa wad jejen shaba. Jize yirong gejen zowa ye, gewa chengze dage jeza. Amje chanchu chengo ombeda sado samaya mane balaya peda ino badi dandu do me bawa rado gaya me bawa anara do me bawa sawa mera yeda sawa gama zeta me zetam yere ya kuru hong ha o bang Sarvadadangadan beda mame mada beda bava maha samaya sato a om beda sato samaya mada bava beda sato idan didra me bava sato gaya me bava sato gaya me bava anara do me bava sawa sato me daya da sawa sato me sato chere ya guru ha Mandrave sarvadadangadan beda mame Vidrabhama samaya sato aham beda sato samaya manabalaya beda sato dinoba tiran dido meba sudo gaya meba ava gaya meba narado meba zava zide minda ida zava gama sita me sita kiriya guru aha ho bangare sava dada gada beda ma mema Mitraba ma samaya sato bedo sato Yamana Balaya Medaza Denova, the Dendro Mebawa, the Dogaya Me Subogaya Mebawa, Narado Mebawa, Sawaza, Dayada, Sawaga Mazazane, Shiriya Guru Hu Ha 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 Ho Bangare Sarvada Danga Danda Mare Mada Edra Ba Ma Samaya Sado Ombeta Sato Samaya Mana Balaya Beta Sato Tin Irandu Me Bawa Sado Kaya Me Bawa Sabo Kaya Me Bawa Amada Zavazada Mendaya Zazaga Mazada Me Zada Guru ha ha ho bangare tawada tanga tanga. Umoya Zado, Ombeda Sato, 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 Jagan Ninja Ranza Karma Ba Jagan Jana Jeda Karma Jagan Dunza Wangra Karma Ba Ojen Ronda Chene Jaden So Sonam Deye Tamje Zeba Nye Tane Nyeba Dana Bande Jagan Nanja Balan Druba Ye Sebe Zolen Nyodroijo Chanjo Sanramboje Maje Bana Jejeje Jeba Nyamba Meba Kanye Gonde Bevrasho Chanchu Sanramboje Maje Banam Jejeje Jeba Nyamba Meba Kanye Gonde Bevrasho Me precious bodhicitta arise within those it has not arisen. Where it has arisen, may it not decline. May it ever grow and flourish. May it ever grow and flourish. May it ever grow and flourish. The title is Chenrezig Practice, but I'm the boss. I'm just leading this only tonight. But if you have any questions, you are welcome.
Lama Karma, I have a question about Chenrezig Practice.
Yes, sir.
I recently tuned into another center and they do Chenrezig Practice,
Mm.
same liturgy, but they put Guru Rinpoche practice at the beginning instead of the middle, like we do.
How do they do?
The 7-line prayer, Guru Rinpoche,
Mm-hmm.
they did it before Chenrezig instead of
Oh.
after Chenrezig.
Mm.
Is there a difference?
Well, that's the difference because you say you joined another center.
Yeah.
Well, uh, longer, so yeah, sometimes it's a Nima center.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them do the Guru Rinpoche's, 7 prayer at the beginning. Some of them, yeah. So yeah, it's
Okay.
it's all good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Lama Karma,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
given
Lorena.
everything that's happening in our country,
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard to feel loving kindness for everyone. How do I work with that?
Well, it's not so much about what's going on. It's all about ourselves, because uh, what really takes toll in our life is we always express stress and anxiety. And then, we kind of see the disease of the anxiety and stress with others that you may not like. And it's very, very, very more than ever. It's just, this is the center of our life. Want to be happy and free from suffering, but because of that disease, like stress and emotion and politician and the greedy, everything takes over. So it's kind of excuse me, seeing your own loved ones, uh, like a loving mother sees her own uh, children suffering, right? It's more like that because the reason why I say that it's because if they have the wisdom and enough compassion and they won't consciously make those mistakes or going through those suffering. So we as a practitioner should inspire to engender compassion and bodhicitta, then anger. Really, that's very important. That's the whole purpose of the practice. And as we say, like when you take bodhisattva vow, we never abandon any sentient beings. And of course, there's differences. There's differences or in people's opinion, political opinion, and maybe some of our own opinion may not be the right thing. You never know. Sometimes, like because I say everything is too extreme, right? So that's the problem. Once you can't be in the middle, too much to the light left. I don't know. It's just too extreme is always something. So my point is that uh, we should be the main individuals and the figures to really raise about compassion and bodhicitta, and not only talk about it, but also like rise from your heart. And that's the only way actually to protect ourselves. Otherwise, if we see this fire burning everywhere, and if we just going with it, then we will be burnt. That's exactly what's going on. But instead, as a practitioner, and I the more you think about, how people are suffering, and even those people who just think that, they are on the top of something, never change. That's the pity, right? That's the suffering that they're going through because nothing stays there. Everything changes, right? So it's as Hindi there mentioned, like, you are celebrating on the top of a roof with full of grass and burning fire underneath. So you feel like very comfortable sleeping there, celebrating, but also it's already burning. So, so we can't just knowingly accumulate negative karma because what's going on in the world. So it is not easy, but we have to be the main individuals who have more compassion.
Trying. Thank you. Right.
Anybody else? I look wise, right? Look so wise.
It's just on the sides though. It hasn't caught up on the top yet.
There.
Oh,
So
no,
Bernie.
just on the sides.
Yeah. I was in my Mundu group, I was sending when I was 16 years old, I was riding a horse, a picture of me. And everybody says, "Oh, Lama Karma, you look same, almost younger." I was like, "Oh yeah, I know that." But people so nice.
How old were you, Lama Karma, when you met Tangu Rinpoche for the first time? How old were you?
I was 9 years old.
Mhm.
And I still remember that meeting so clearly because I went to, as my life story, we were nomadics, on the mountains, valleys. You don't see all the cities, like the villagers and, cars, everything. Then my father took to see Tangrubuchi, and it was like, all these cars, everything, just almost like, oh, they're constantly, almost, the cars coming this way and you feel like you're already smashed or something. So finally, all the people and, so you're so used to it, the nomadic life, and then once you get to Tangku Monastery. And then my father took to see Tangku Buchi, and my uncle was the Lama Sona who passed away recently. And so I just went into his room, and somebody heard of this story. And when I look, Rinpoche was sitting on his bed, kind of, almost like a chair. And then my father and my uncle said, sit down. They didn't say where to sit. I just went directly sit next to Tang Rinpoche on his bed. And then he kind of, this is what he did. I still remember that smile and the warmth. Well, I felt very good here. And then my uncle and my no, you can sit next to, like that's Rinpoche, sit on the floor. How do I know? They said just they didn't say before like where I should sit, just said sit. That's the yes, I was 9 years old and then took refuge from, with Rinpoche and yep.
That's one of my favorite stories too.
Yeah, that's I just still that warmth and almost like his body was like very hot, very safe or something. Then you look at it, ha 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 ha, big smile and just was so beautiful. And then because my father, my uncle were busy and they're like, oh no, you can't. I said, Just sit down. So that, Rinpoche is the one who sent me here,
Mhm.
Sorry about that. You guys give you guys trouble.
Yeah.
But with serious note that, as I mentioned, I won't ask anybody to say, did you maintain your daily practice? No, not at all. Because I probably failed myself, You see? So 2026, I think it's very important to change, because what do we expect? Not doing our daily practice and then we feel like stressed? Of course, what else we have, right? When we don't sit down and practice, when we don't do meditation, then we just complain about stress and the busyness. It's just the way it is. Because even you have a lot of time, window of time, and we always so much focus on phone, and then think about cycle with all the worry things to think about. Then what do you expect, right? It's good to refresh. Every time you sit down practice, even though your practice may not go well, but you there's like a little refreshed. Your mind's refreshed. And that's why, when I teach or do on my practice, I don't, start right away. I just sit down and just think about I'm doing this for the benefit of all sentient beings, and whether my practice goes well or not, So then you start your practice with that good intention, and then you practice and dedicate merit. So that is a very beautiful practice, Daniel, where's your jokes today? Here he comes.
Oh, I ran out a long time ago.
Ah,
I ran out of jokes a long time ago.
oh. We sometimes make these little jokes, and I think I have one. I don't need to do meditation. Meditation comes to me, said by Chuck Norris.
Huh.
He actually said, no, I don't want to go up the mountain. Mountain comes to him. All right. Thank you, everybody. And I hope, some of our talk sharing benefit for you. And thanks so much for having me. And I always get a lot of benefit. And I'll be going to uh, Albany KTC this weekend. And then after the following weekend, we have like short teaching. I see you 2026, right?
See you next year, Lama Karma.
Yeah, see you. Yeah, you guys take care and come up at you. I'm so happy. Thank you. Do your practice.
Good night, everybody. Thanks,
Thank you,
Lama Karma.
Lama.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, everybody.